today, this is a special meeting, August the 17th, 2016, and it is 6:09. Please stand and join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I'd like to establish a quorum. We have Councilman Tejada, Councilman Ortiz, Councilwoman Cantu. We do have a quorum. And now to recite the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. And I will take any citizens' comments. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Joanne Uhas, Wilson County. I know you tabled the two items that are on the agenda tonight, and some of you stated that it was confusing and you didn't understand the law. I wanted to clarify a couple of things just for myself. So I contacted Ashley in the legal department for the Texas Secretary of State, and I noted when I was reciting to you some of the background for this particular law that it says it is important to note that political subdivisions holding an election, the November uniform election date, in even numbered years, which 2016 is, must designate their polling places for the election at the regular county polling places in the county election precincts, unless the political subdivision is holding an election that is created under Section 52, Article 3, or Section 59, Article 16, Texas Constitution, and is located in a county with a population of more than 3.3 million, or a county adjacent to a county with a population of more than 3.3 million. So I thought it best to educate myself and hopefully to educate some of us that aren't aware of what those are. So I looked up Section 52, Article 3 in the Legislative Department for the Texas Constitution. And number 12, it does state, for the opening and conducting of elections or fixing or changing the place of voting. When I asked the attorney, and once again her name was Ashley that I spoke to, that applies to the legislature only, so is not applicable in this case. The next one, Section 59, Article 16, has to do with navigation of districts. And I looked up the population for every single county adjacent to Wilson County. And total, they only come to 1,913,278 people. So we aren't even close to the 3.3 million. So, and the last thing that I asked Ashley is if she was aware of any precedent where somebody had not abided by the law, and she stated this has been on the books since 2005, and it's always been adhered to that she was aware of. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rivas. Any other comments? All right.
Madam Mayor, just for clarification, I don't think the council said they were confused with the law. I think what we said, there's going to be a confusion for the voters. We never said there was a confusion with the law.
I believe that is correct. Mr. Nissan, would you like to come out, please?
My name is Nick Nissen. To verify Mr. Tejada, I'm sure Gloria said that she was confused and she didn't understand it. That's why we wanted. She didn't say anything about
I said I was confused
voters.
about the vote, where the voters were going to vote. The voters were going to be confused.
Okay, you're saying the voters are going to be confused. I don't think so, but that's how it was
Well,
shown.
maybe, yeah,
Thank you.
let's interpret.
Any other comments? First item is a CNA to establish City of Floresville polling locations for early voting and election day voting. Councilman? Or do you want our attorney to take that one?
No, read the agenda item again.
CNA to establish City of Floresville polling locations for early voting and election day voting. And our city secretary can tell us those locations, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, would you please come up to the podium?
Right now, the county has, where you're gonna vote at the annex right here, where you vote early voting for the county, you will be voting there also. We'll be in the last room, on A Street side, we'll be in that last room. That's where she has us set up to do early voting, the
You're
city,
referring to the school.
the city. No, this is at the annex, at the county for early voting.
Oh, okay.
This is at the
The old
county
school.
building, the old school. The old school, not the one behind the gym where they're talking about election day.
No, the old school where we typically go vote for
Yes,
national
For,
county.
yes,
Okay.
we'll be at the end on A Street side in that last,
Excuse me,
Room.
Mr. Miller, would you like to tell us something? I saw you speaking. Did you have something to say?
I said, I repeated what you were saying down there, where we typically go vote.
That's right. This is the old school. That's where we typically vote for county and national. Right?
I
so,
was just repeating what you said down there,
Thank you.
typically vote.
Thank you.
and that's where we would be early voting,
Okay.
that location. And then the two locations pending right now, box 102 will be at the old gym and those portable buildings behind the gym on A Street.
Mhm.
Where that old gym is, those portable buildings, that's where the county is going to do voting instead of Sacred Heart.
Okay.
Because Sacred Heart is going to be under construction.
All right.
And
the
then,
box?
and then box 206, I had offered them City Hall here to use for box 206 instead of the American Legion.
Okay, that's item B. We'll settle
Yeah.
that in a minute.
But that's the two locations.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we establish the city of polling places as those indicated by the Wilson County Commissioners Court, which are box 102 and box 206, and 206 will be, has not been designated yet, but we'll be taking action on that in next item.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
I second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. May I have citizens' comments?
I just have a question,
Yes, sir.
and maybe legal counsel,
Would you step up, please?
I just don't.
maybe counsel can ask this. As I understand the joint election law, this council doesn't need to designate anything. The joint election law says this is established by regular county precincts.
First, it's not a joint election. We don't have a joint election contract with the county. We're just conducting at the same polling location.
I understand that, counsel. What the joint election law says is unless there is an agreement or unless there is a contract, these will be the polling places. So this action by the council seems,
We're approving it to happen there, and then we have to approve if we want to let them use City Hall, which will be.
well, I understand that next action,
So-
but I mean, for the city to designate polling places, okay, after the county has done it, seems like an exercise in futility based on what the law reads.
We still have to accept them to establish our polling locations. By law, they will have to be at those locations, and that was discussed at the last meeting. But we still have to approve polling locations. We could just do nothing and default to state law, but by law, we do have to approve our polling locations. So we have to say this is where we're going to vote for the city. And by law, those have to be at the two established by the county, but we still have to adopt them by the city.
I'm a little confused.
And then we'll send the election order over to Eva at the county to actually go
I
forward.
understand that piece of it.
you
But the
do
two
have-
pieces that I'm confused about, your statement was, if this council takes no action, then it will default to state law. But we still have to approve it.
Right.
If we take no action, then it
It's part of the
automatically
law.
defaults.
The city has to approve the polling locations for the city. Now, state law says that those have to be the county locations. So it is a mandamusable, which I'm sure people are familiar with, action to say these have to be done here. But we still have to take the action to say these are the polling locations.
But if they didn't take action, it would automatically be those polling locations.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, let's take a vote. All those in favor of accepting the polling locations for early voting and election day voting? Raise your right hand. All right, all opposed? All right, motion carries 3-0. The next item, B, CNA to approve City Hall as a voting location for precinct 206.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
May I have a second?
I second.
Right, citizens' comments? No comments? Let's take a vote. All those in favor? Raise your right hand. All opposed? 3-0, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.